Have you ever wondered, what if I fail? What if I never make it? And you felt scared about thinking about that? Well, let me tell you something. You're chasing your goals because you don't have them. And it makes sense if you think about it like for 5 seconds. But if you study how the universe works, then you will understand that the way you get the things you want is by playing the game backwards. You don't chase your goals, but your goals chase you. And let me explain you why real quick, so you understand the logic behind what I said, and then we can develop all this knowledge deeply. So, you know that manifestation is just a word that refers to the principle of cause and effect, right? And what people do when they want to manifest consciously is understand that everything you have around you is an effect of you. Your money, your clothes, the way you look, your friends, all of that is an effect of you. That means that you are a cause. And what you want is a different effect. Because if you are chasing your goals, that means you don't have those goals. So you are chasing new effects. But you are the cause of the effects you have around you, and you have to become the cause of the effects you want and you don't currently have. So you are a cause. Let's say you are cause A, all right? You are cause A. This is who you are now. And cause A bring you the outcomes that are called effects A, right? But here's the thing. You don't want effects A, or you don't want all of them. You want also effects B. You want this other group of effects. That could be a business, money, a skill like meditation, training in the gym. You may want new friends, a relationship, I don't know, like becoming a better artist. Whatever you want, those are effects B. They are not in the group of the effects that you currently generate. But this is the problem. You are chasing effects B while being cause A. And that's nonsense. This path will always be interrupted by something. You will not be consistent, or you will believe you will fail, so you will act in the wrong way. Like if you're trying to make new friends and you think you are shy because you are the cause A, then you have to be socially skilled. But you are cause A, you are shy. So you will act in a shy way to make new friends, and that will not work. Or maybe it works, but maybe you make new friends, but maybe you don't make the friends you wish you could make. So that's what I mean when I say that you don't have to chase your goals. You just have to change who you are and become the cause B, right? And being the cause B, you will generate these effects automatically. And when I say your goals chase you, that's like a enchanted way to say it. But it actually makes sense, because when we think about changing ourselves, I will get rigorous in like 2 minutes. It's just one more thing about this. When we think about changing ourselves, we think about evidence. When we want to be, for example, more confident, or we want to feel worthy, or we want to feel smart, or we want to feel like we made it, we want evidence. We want money, we want clothes, we want grades, we want a degree, or we want to do something like go viral or something. But the thing is, you are chasing evidence when you are not the cause. What you have to do first is change yourself. You have to become the kind of person that gets those effects naturally, effortlessly. Like you just vibe, you just exist. And because of the way you are set, the way your mind works, you just get the things you want. So you are not backed up by the things you get. It's the other way around. The things you generate are backed up by you. You are the evidence of the things that exist around you. Now, let's get rigorous so we actually get how to become the cause B, because that's the goal of this video, right? We want to become the cause B. We know that we want certain effects that we don't currently have. That means we are not the cause of the effects we want yet. So we have to change ourselves because we are the cause of the effects we have around us. How do we change ourselves? Do we have to move countries? Do we have to change our clothes? Do we have to make more money? No, because those are effects. It would be nonsense to seek effects of the ones you are not the cause, because that's going against this principle. You have to understand that these principles works all the time. It's permanent. It rules the universe. If you don't use this principle the right way and you try to fight against this principle and try to break it, it will be nonsense and you will never generate those effects. So how do we become the cause of the effects we want so we can manifest what we have always wished to have? Well, that's by changing our minds. Because Hermeticism stated in the past that the universe is ruled by certain principles. One of them is the principle of cause and effect. Another principle is the principle of mentalism, right? Or the principle of correspondence. The principle of mentalism says that all is mind, all right? That everything you see around you is created by some sort of universal, infinite, living mind that Hermeticism called the all. Like the all, like just the all. Like Christianism call it God. Some other people call it the universe. But you can like generalize it by saying that the substantial reality, like the real reality, like the reality behind what you see, is the all. And that all is just an infinite living mind. And that infinite living mind created everything inside his consciousness and creates everything inside his consciousness. And then what Hermeticism says is that there is a correspondence and harmony between all the planes that exist in the world. There are different planes, and they use this not rigorous but useful to think description of 3 planes that we all know. We all heard about these planes. One is the physical plane, and this is like the matter, everything you can see around you. Then you have the mental plane, and then you have the spiritual plane. So this plane, the mental plane, is a higher plane than the physical plane. And everything that changes inside the physical plane is manifested into the physical plane. Everything that changes in the mental plane is manifested into the physical plane. Everything that changes in the spiritual plane changes the mental plane. But it doesn't work the other way around. Like, this is not, like, it's not wrong, but it's not the best way to use this law. Everything starts here, in your mind. So we have brain, and this brain is what creates our consciousness and what creates our mind, right? So we have to be grateful with our brains. But the thing is, our brains are not just like a mystical cloud of consciousness. Our brains are created by matter, and they are human brains. So this brain has a biological mission. That is reproduction, right? And in order to reproduce, you have to survive first. So you want reproduction and survival as your main goals, if we see it from a biological point of view. But the body, the human body, has finite amounts of energy. We have finite energy. So when you have some resource that is finite, you want to administrate it in the smartest way possible. It's like your money. You don't just like spend your money on whatever you want to buy and you spill all your money around. Like, you think about your spendings because your money is finite as well. So the brain does the exact same thing, but with our energy. So you have energy, right? Like in your body, you have energy, but that energy is finite. So in order to administrate that energy in the smartest way possible, the brain does one thing, and that is automates processes. Your brain literally automates a lot of processes, and that's what people call like the unconscious mind. I am not here to tell you that the unconscious mind is just a set of automatic systems, because like that would be like doing a super strong statement about science. But what I can tell you is that for this purpose of manifestation, we can say that the unconscious mind is just a set of automatic systems that run in the background to optimize energy consumption. So how does your brain automate processes? Well, your brain automates a lot of processes, but the ones we want to analyze today is your actions. Your brain literally maps actions with situations. So when you grew up, like when you were growing up, your brain stored a lot of information about the environment and about yourself that you use now to design your actions quickly without spending a lot of energy. So if you want to wash your hands, you're not consciously thinking what washing your hands means, how to open the sink, what water is, how to move your hands, where the soap is, how to use the soap, what the soap is, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not thinking consciously about every variable around the needed action of washing your hands. You just automatically do it while you think about other stuff in your mind. That is because your brain stored enough information and data about washing your hands that you can now do it automatically. Now, the problem is we don't care about how we wash your hands because you probably do it the right way. But we care about another thing. Like, your brain also automates how you socialize, how you work, how you train, how you wake up, how you sleep, everything. Like, your brain automates almost every action you do. So if you fail in something, like every time you want to work for a couple of hours on your business, or you want to study, or you want to focus on something for 4 hours, and you don't do it, and you scroll for 1 hour and you take a nap or whatever, that means you have the wrong action mapped to that situation. So you want to change that action with the situation by changing all this system that I will tell you now, like in a couple of minutes. How does your brain automate processes? That is by simplifying reality. How do you simplify something? How do we call something that is a simplification of reality? We call it models. Models are a simplification of reality. Physics use models, chemistry and economics use models. That is because if you simplify reality, you can solve problems in a enoughly good way, and spend low amounts of energy. If you try to analyze every variable about reality, variables are dynamic. So when you try to solve a problem like about physics or economics, it would be like a headache to solve that problem. And probably you wouldn't be able to do it because the brain is not cognitively skilled to analyze and contemplate all the variables dynamically in one instant. So it's impossible. You need models. We need models of reality. Now, the problem is your brain creates models of reality while you don't even realize. So now you have actions mapped to situations that you don't like and you want to change them. But it's quite difficult if you don't become aware of the system. But we will make it easy. So basically, how does your brain create a model of reality? That's by storing memories and creating beliefs. Yes, like everything you experience, your brain analyzes if what you are experiencing is important and can be used in the future to be successful in the future. So if one day you try to do something and you did it the right way, your brain probably stored that experience as a memory, so in the future you can repeat the action and be successful once again. Now you will be saying like, but if I try to work and focus on something for 4 hours, but instead I scrolled for 1 hour and I took a nap, I wasn't successful. Why would my brain store that experience as a memory to use in the future if I was not successful? Well, that is because from your brain's point of view, you were successful. Because if you scroll for 1 hour, you stimulate your brain and you release dopamine. And your brain feels that you are being successful because IG and TikTok and everything is like designed to exploit that reward system in your brain. And if you took a nap, you restored energy. So if you scroll instead of working, you spend a lower amount of energy, and you also stimulated the reward system more than working would have done it. And your brain said, all right, so if we scroll for 1 hour and we take a nap instead of working, we get stimulated. That means we are being successful in something. That is not true. But as I told you, like social media is designed to exploit that system. And we took a nap, then we are saving more energy and getting more results because we are being more stimulated. So according to your brain, you are being more like successful. That's where your brain repeats the action. Now, your model of reality can be divided into two big groups, and this is key here. You can divide your models into two big groups. One is your identity. This model of reality is who you think you are. And the other model is the model of your environment. How you think your environment works. If you think people are good or evil, that's info about your environment. If you think money is scarce or abundant, that's info about your environment. If you think gravity is real, that I guess you probably think gravity is real, that's info about your environment. Those are memories and beliefs you stored like all over your life that nowadays tell you that if you stop holding something, it will fall off because gravity is there. But you don't do a conscious mathematical analysis. You just have memories and beliefs that tell you that gravity is there. And your identity is who you think you are. It's all the memories and beliefs that you have about yourself. And this is what people call like your personality. Like, oh, that's your personality. That's not your personality. Those are just memories and beliefs that you use to design the actions in the future and design the actions in the present. So if you change that raw data, your memories and beliefs, you will have another personality. And that other personality will be the cause of different effects. So that's what we got here. If you want to call your identity like your personality, you can. But you have to understand that you are not your identity, you are not your personality, you are not your body, you are not your clothes, you are just a consciousness. You just are. And you create a model of reality that helps you optimize energy consumption. So you have a personality. So that way you have predictable a predictable behavior for other people to interact with you and make it easy for others to interact with you so you can socialize, have a tribe and survive all together and then reproduce. And you can also design your behavior in an easy way, right? You don't have to think about who you are, like you already know. And your brain uses this info, like these models of reality, to make predictions about what's going to happen, of course. And from those predictions, your brain designs the actions that later will bring you, like, your outcomes. These are like your effects. Outcomes. So, suppose you were shy in the past. So now you have this belief that you are shy and you try to socialize. So you go to a place, you see a person and you want to talk to that person. But you were shy your whole life and you believe you are shy. You have memories acting shy and you believe that you are shy. Your brain will make a prediction automatically. You want to socialize with a person around you, your brain will generate a prediction. Basically, it will try to use this info to predict what's going to happen. If you were shy in the past, guess what are you going to predict? Your brain will predict that you will be shy and you will fail. So if you try to act based on that prediction, you will act in a shy way. Like you will literally make the prediction a reality. And that will bring you your outcome, and you will store those outcomes as more memories to have more evidence that you are shy. So you reinforce the belief that you are shy, and you are more shy, and now it's more difficult to get out of that system. How do we break the loop? How do we actually get out of this? Because I know it sounds like you understand, but I know it's not that easy. But it's not that difficult. You just have to be aware. Aware of what? You have to be aware of two things. Or you have to learn one thing and be aware of one thing if you want. Like, you have to be aware of this system in your brain. What you believe about yourself, all the memories you have about like your identity and your environment in the past. The predictions you make, you also have to be aware of that. You can be aware of your actions if you want, like analyze your actions in the past and what you are doing currently. But you have to understand one thing. Thoughts are not real or fake. That's it. It's that simple, but you have to internalize that truth so you can become the cause that you have always wanted and get the effects that you have always wanted. Thoughts, everything that happens in your mind is just a mental event. It is not true. It is not false. It is nothing. It just is. Those mental events just exist. That's it. If you pick one thought that tells you that you are an anxious person or unworthy or you are not smart or you are worried about failing in the future, that's just a thought. It's just a thought. Is it real? Is it fake? It's nothing. It's just a thought. Now, a thought can manifest into reality, which is a different thing. You can use a thought to change the physical plane. And that will become like a reality. Because many people think that the physical plane is a synonym for reality, which is not. There are many planes in this reality, and the physical plane is just one of the lowest planes that has one of the lowest frequencies of vibration. So start telling inside your mind the right story, the story that you want to make true. When you tell in your mind to yourself the right story, that story will become true. If you understand that every thought that go against that story is not true or false, you can observe those thoughts. Maybe some of them make sense sometimes. Maybe we are scared of something, and maybe that fear is useful. But most of the time, thoughts are just a waste of energy and time. Because we have thousands of thoughts every day, and most of them are just worrying about things that will never happen. But if you reinforce those thoughts, those things will happen to you. So if you think that you are not disciplined, if you think that you are not smart, if you think bad things about yourself, and if you think that money is scarce and difficult to make, and the competition is extremely difficult to beat, they are so strong, and you believe that people are evil, so no one will help you, then you have to become aware of those thoughts as soon as possible and understand that those thoughts are just thoughts. When you find a new thought that can replace those, like you are disciplined and you can visualize yourself being disciplined, then you reinforce that thought. You start telling that story in your mind over and over again. If it feels unnatural, it doesn't matter. You don't need evidence. You will not become rich and then you will be that kind of person that is rich. You will become rich in your mind. You will create the mind state that generates wealth, and then you will generate wealth. It's that way in everything. You want to be a good artist, you want to build a body in the gym, you want to make money, whatever. Of course, it takes time because you need skills. But you will never get the skills you need in order to build those effects if you don't change your mind. Because skills are not built by studying. Studying is the first step. But the most important step is taking action. If you don't take action, you will never develop a skill deeply. You will just stay on your desk reading books. And that's nonsense. So when you become the cause and you become confident and worthy and smart and disciplined, and you believe good things about yourself, and you start telling the right story in your mind, not only who you are, you start believing that you will do it. Because when you believe you will do it, that you not only that you can, when you believe that you will do it, your brain will direct all the energy required to accomplish the goal. If you think you are going to fail because you are undisciplined and the competition is hard to beat, your brain will say, wait. We will not direct a lot of energy to this project because it will fail. Would you spend money? Would you invest money on a project that you know will fail? That's nonsense. Money is a resource. Energy is a resource as well. And energy in the body is finite. So the brain will not direct enough energy to develop a project and perform in the right way if you think you are going to fail or the project is going to fail or whatever. But the thing is going to fail. So start telling the right story in your mind and start embodying that person that you always wanted to be today. Not when you get the money, not when you get the body, not when you get the friends, not when you get your SP or your relationship or whatever. When you embody that person, you will get the effects you want. It's not the other way around. So I really hope it helped. Thanks for watching. Bye.